Facebook thought it was going to share. Maybe it's live. All right, so if we're Facebook friends or if you follow my Facebook page, either one, you've probably noticed that I post videos in this kind of like running. Oh, the screen flashed at me. It was very exciting. Um, I've been posting videos in this kind of running series that like basically just frequently asked questions kind of stuff, right? Like posts about the things that people are always asking me about as far as social media and engagements and that kind of stuff. So today I had a few minutes and I decided to tackle one that I've seen several times just in the last couple of weeks, really. It comes up a lot over the long haul, but every now and then there's like a surge of these questions. And so this one, this time. So this question gets asked in a few different kind of ways, but it's always about who is actually seeing your stuff on Facebook, particularly if you're posting to a page, so your page followers. And the follower count that you see on your page is never the same as the number of people who see your posts. If the number of people who see a given post, like you know how if you're managing a page, you can see number of views and number of people reached and that kind of stuff on any given post. If the number of people reached is lower than the number of people who follow your page, that generally means that your posts are not distributing well, right? Like people follow your page, but Facebook is nonetheless not actually showing them your stuff, which can happen for a variety of reasons, but bracket that for now. If the number of people who are seeing your post is higher than the number of people who follow your page, that probably means that some other folks have shared it and you're getting like engagements and like you're beginning to attract attention through the algorithm, right? Okay. So in general, you want the number of people who see a given post to be higher than the number of people who are already following your page because you want your audience to be growing for most pages in most circumstances. And so like there are a number of ways to do that, but you can't really grow your page effectively without thinking about where you are starting from. And that's slightly different for every situation, but in general, because of the way that people go about making Facebook pages, way most of the time, either you are making a Facebook page for yourself or you're making a Facebook page for somebody that you know. And so you make the page and you share it with all your buddies and you say, hey, I have a new Facebook page. And if you're making it for somebody else, they also share the page. Ideally, I have made it for people who did not then share their page. But anyway, if you have a cooperative person that you are building the page for, they will also share the Facebook page and say, hey, I have a new Facebook page. And people come follow it because they know and like you hope. That's good. Like you want that initial audience. You want somebody to be following it so that you can begin to grow and find more folks. But realistically, people who follow the page just because they are friends of yours or friends of yours, like they're probably not there because they really like the thing that that page is about, right? I mean, maybe they are because you do know people with whom you have common interests, one would hope. But if I have the consulting academic, right? Like that's my business page. Okay. Way most people who know Sarah Carpenter do not particularly care about consulting or academia. All right. Way most people who know Sarah Carpenter are not going to ever need or want to know the advice I give about writing essays, and they are not going to want to hire my services in social media management, and they don't want me to come do an audience research project for them. A few of them might, but way most people who just happen to know me, even if we are buddies, do not need or want any of those things. So, like, my friends are not necessarily the audience for my page, even though I'm happy to have them there. The audience for my page consists of people who have problems in digital communication and would like to have them solved, and of people who have problems in other areas of communication related, you know, like to research writing and, you know, like academic audiences and that kind of stuff. There's some overlap there, right? Like it's all related to communication somehow, but it's academic or it's professional. And okay, there's some overlap between people who have writing questions and people who have digital communications questions, people who are interested in, you know, crafting a great essay and people who are interested in crafting a great ad. Those skill sets are closer than you might think. And because I know people who do some of that stuff, they overlap sort of with my, friends and family, but these are not the same groups of people. Like you can't, like the overlap in the Venn diagram is pretty slim. So I want to be attracting for that page, right? People who are not just the people that I know and hang out with, right? So I want to use hashtags. People always ask me about hashtags. Yes, use them. I will say, however, that they are not as useful on Facebook as they are on some other platforms like Twitter. On Twitter, you can find all kinds of stuff using the hashtags. On Facebook, it's really kind of hit and miss, but they don't hurt, so go ahead and use them. And additionally, as your page, you can like and follow other pages and sometimes like and join groups. And if you want to grow your audience outside this sort of like natural sphere of networking that you have as an individual person, those are probably a better bet in terms of finding people who are like actually into the thing that your page is about, right? Because again, there will be some overlap between the person you are and the interests that you have and the ones that you share with the people around you and the stuff on your page, right? Because it's part of your life. So, there's going to be some crossover. But if your page is about anything other than just like you as a human, there's a good chance that its core demographic is not really the people who already know you, but rather people with whom you have this common interest that you don't share with everybody that you know, right? In my case, again, it's consulting and academic work, and these things connect in ways that I explain on the page sometimes. If your page is about, I don't know, collecting porcelain dolls, everybody that you know does not care and is not going to want to collect porcelain dolls, but people in a Facebook group about collectibles will be very interested, right? If you've got a page about manga, most of your friends are probably not into that, but these folks over here who are also into comic books and manga and the people in those hashtags, they are. And those are the places you need to kind of go to start looking to expand your audience. And the more engagement you see in terms of people liking and sharing and commenting on your posts, usually the more consistent Facebook will become about actually showing your posts to the people who are already following you. So this kind of it circles back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is that Facebook does not always show your posts, even to the people who are following your page. It kind of guesstimates which posts are likely to please people, like what they're likely to find entertaining. And so you have to kind of game the algorithm a little bit and, in a sense, game people a little bit and try to figure out, okay, well, we'll get them to actually click, because when they actually make a click, then Facebook goes, oh, okay, this was interesting content. We will show people more posts from this page, and it becomes an incrementally increasing improvement in your metrics. And you want that because you want, again, the number of people who see any given post to be higher than the number of people who are already following your page, because you want to get outside the small network that you begin with and find the people who are really into your thing. All right, this was a longish video, but I hope that it explains some of what's going on in audience expansion tactics. If you have questions, I will do my best to answer them. Either way, I hope y'all are having a great Saturday afternoon. Talk to you soon.